This is the CV Life Wolfcovert, an affordable micro-reflex sight available with a red or green 6 MOA dot. It was originally designed for pistols, but comes with a Picatinny adapter, and paired with CV Life's co-witness riser mounts make it usable for rifles, shotguns, and pistol caliber carbines. So let's get it mounted up and test it out. Let's start with a quick unboxing, where we simply see the contents of the box. This is the Wolfcovert, and this is the 6 MOA green dot. That's right, it has a green dot instead of a red dot. And this has a couple of advantages for folks because our eyes, human eyes, are much more sensitive to the blue-green side of the spectrum rather than the red. So this green dots will look inherently brighter to most folks. I don't know for the folks who are colorblind, but you'll have to let me know in the comments if that's the case. But also, for many of us who are getting older, our eyes don't work as well as they used to, and many of us have astigmatism, and that means that our eyes aren't exactly shaped perfectly round, and we can't focus as sharply as ideally intended. So, for many who've used red dots, the dot may not look quite like a dot. And for many, including myself, when we're looking at red dots, the dot is kind of starbursty, maybe even smeared looking. Green dots, for many folks with astigmatism, look much clearer than red dots. So there's another advantage there. And this has, in most other respects, is practically identical to the red dot models that CV Life has. This is the 6 MOA version, by the way. That refers to the inherent size of that dot, and 6 is larger. They also have a 3 and a 2. Here's the thing, though. I used to buy into the theory that smaller is better with a red dot because smaller means more precise and you can get more precise aiming points on your target. Thing is, from practical use, when I use a 2 or even a 3 MOA dot, I actually have to increase the brightness a bit just to be able to see it in mixed lighting or daylight conditions. So at low power, or low intensity on a green dot, there's far less bloom, and at low intensity, this green dot at, say, 3 looks just pretty much the same as my red dot does in 5 or 6. So effectively, I am, for practical purposes, I'm still getting a very small, precise dot, even with a 6 MOA dot. Plus, I have the extra ceiling of increasing the intensity well past the brightness of my red dot, should I need to. Let's say if I was shooting in desert, direct noonday, or facing the sun kind of situations. So there's a lot of advantages to having a green dot with a larger MOA. Now, some other advantages to this particular model is that, like all the new Wolfcoverts, the battery compartment is now on the top, which allows you to change your battery. Older red dots had the battery compartment at the base, and you'd have to remove your red dot and re-zero again once you remounted it. Plus, this is so efficient now that it has a rated 50,000 hour battery life, which is crazy long. That's really battery life measured in years, not hours. And the other reason for that is not only is it much more efficient electronically, but this also has a auto off feature. So after 4 minutes of inactivity, this turns off, and it has a motion activation or shake awake feature. So as soon as you pick it up and move it, it turns back on, and that's how it conserves battery life, and you get such long, years-long battery use off of a single, in this case, 1632 battery that fits in there. And this, you can adjust the brightness with lowering the brightness, increasing the brightness, and if you press it for 4 seconds, it automatically turns off. Now, when you do that manual deactivation off, the shake awake no longer works. So you just have to tap it, and there you go. It's back on, and now it's again on the auto off and shake awake activation. Now, this comes with a Picatinny mount, but this is actually a base. It's actually RMR cut, which is the standard pioneered by Trigicon, I believe, for their RMR micro red dots. So, but you can take off this Picatinny base there's 2 mounting screws here, and then these are nice. Actually, they included thread lock on their screws, so that's a nice touch there. There's also a thread lock here, by the way. So if you want to remove this base, this Picatinny base, you just unscrew those screws, and you actually have an RMR cut red dot, so you can mount it directly onto an RMR cut slide or what have you, or mount. It also comes with a mount, by the way. This particular kit, this comes with a 0.98 inch mount, or practically a 1 inch mount. They also come in 2 shorter sizes, should you want to co-witness, and depending on how you want to co-witness your red dot sight to your iron sights. But this also is see-through in this case, so if you do have low iron sights, you can use this. You can just sight through the channel, the hollow channel in the center, and it has lightning cuts. This is RMR cut, so there's 2 pins here that line up with holes here on the base underneath this Picatinny mount here, and these are the screw holes for these 2 screws here, and this just mounts in. This is a Picatinny bottom, by the way, so no recoil lugs, unfortunately, but this may or may not work on a Weaver, so that has the advantage there. Let me know in the comments which kind of riser mount you use for your rifles, but this has the flexibility of either putting this onto a Picatinny topped pistol, or any rifle that has a Picatinny rail, with or without your riser. Plus, you could use this, dismount this, and put this directly onto your pistol. Adjustments for 0 are these 2 little flathead screw pull and adjustment screws. Oh, it does come with a torque screw for taking off the cover on the battery, and also the screws there. But it also comes with a flathead, kind of an Allen key shaped tool here, and you can adjust your 0, or the position of your dot, thusly. And it is quite audible and tactile. 1 click equals 1 MOA, and our windage, not quite as loud, still pretty loud, and tactile positive. So we'll be adjusting this out at the range next. Before we get started with the test, I'd just like to take a quick break here to talk about this episode's sponsor, Aura. You've seen the news, those huge data breaches that have compromised mine and probably your data. That's why it's important to be proactive. Now, for the cost of just a VPN, I'm getting a whole suite of security services, including $1 million in identity theft insurance, fraud alerts, spam blockers, and they're even removing me from those damn data broker listings. After a month of using Aura, I've seen my spam mail go down by more than half, and I'm not getting any robocalls anymore. For an election year, that's priceless. Speaking of priceless, I'm giving you the opportunity to try them for free. Use my link, aura.com/moondog, and you can try them free. And if you use that link, you're helping to support this channel. So thanks for doing that. Okay, let's get back to the video. So I took it to the range and mounted the Wolfcovert onto the riser mount, and depending on the height of your iron sights and whether you want an absolute co-witness or a 1/3 co-witness, you can choose either CV Life's 21, 23, or 25 millimeter riser heights, and they also function as see-through sights if you have low iron sights or flip-down SMG style sights. But what I was interested in testing was how well this setup works on a scout rifle, where you mount your optic on the handguard well forward of the receiver. So I mounted it on a Kel-Tec Sub 2000, whose pick rail doesn't even start until 6 inches after the receiver. We were shooting from 25 yards, and I was aiming for the bottom right diamond, and my first shot in the group actually landed in between the diamonds, so I made a little bit of a windage adjustment, about 4 clicks. And my next 3 shots, I was aiming for the top left diamond, and while my grouping size didn't get any better, which is more indicative of user skill, it was more in line with the position of my point of aim. And what this does show is that the green dot did keep me on target. I spent the remainder of the day shooting the rest of my ammo, about 100 rounds in total, and it held 0. I'd like to thank CV Life for sending out a Wolfcovert for me to test. And full disclosure here, the first sample they sent me didn't hold 0, but I contacted CV Life about it, sent them photos of the problem, and they sent me a replacement pretty darn quick. So that says something about the company, their commitment to customer service, and their warranty. Now, for those of you who are thinking, that's what you get for buying a budget red dot. Go get it from a real brand. I'd like to point you to some of the Reddit threads on Vortex. My point is, no brand is perfect, but with CV Life, you're not SOL. This is the replacement that they sent me. It's the one you saw in the video, and I ran over 100 rounds through it. It held 0. So there's a lot I like about it. Chiefly, its 6 MOA green dot. Now, if you're fairly new to shooting pistols with a reflex sight like me, the hardest part is finding that dot when presenting. So having a larger, brighter dot certainly makes that easier. So does the slightly larger window than your typical green dot. Now, as far as the green is concerned, personally, I did not see that much of a difference for my astigmatism versus a red dot, but that could just be me. Let me know in the comments if you prefer a green dot over a red dot and why, or vice versa. And if you are interested in picking up the Wolfcovert or the Razor mount, I've included product links as well as more information in my full write-up at moondogindustries.com. You'll find a link to that article in this video's description. Use the product links, the affiliate links in that article. It helps support this channel. And of course, you could always help my efforts by simply hitting the like button. And consider subscribing to this channel if you're not already subscribed. It's absolutely free. They don't charge you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. You be safe out there. Moondog, out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.